share the women, we can share the wine. We can share what we gotta use, cause we done shared all of mine. Just a mile to go. Keep on rolling, my old buddy, you're moving much too slow. Just jumped the watchman right outside the fence. Took his rings for bucks and change. Ain't that heaven sent? Hurts my ears to listen and burns my eyes to see. Go down a man in cold shine, might as well be me.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? Going rope burn? Just getting ready for the modern challenge here. I'm just going to talk about deck selection real quick. You don't have that long before I have to actually cue in. So last night somebody posted basically this list, a different sideboard, and instead of a chieftain, they had a war chief. And I looked at it and I said, what the hell am I doing? There should probably be conspicuous snoops in this list. There should probably be conspicuous snoops in the list because not only do they draw you goblins, which is like the idea of this whole deck in the first place, but they draw you closer to bidding. And I still believe that. But when I said that, I went back to my old list and I said, okay, maybe I can fit biddings into the sideboard here. Maybe we can cut down way down on the combo. And I came up with this thing. And the problem is, Kiki and Harbinger, if you put one copy of each, it's like not really worth it, I don't think. And these could be biddings. And then you have a very similar list to what's going on in that other one, but you just have this combo out that doesn't often happen, and whatever. The sideboard plan is slightly different. Here you have tar fires instead of whatever the hell we're doing over here. But this sideboard you could just port straight over. So I'm halfway between these two decks. Taking just like literally just chopping out, not Sling Gang, chopping out a Kiki and a Harbinger, going down to the smallest combo package you could while still having snoops in the deck. You lose one Skirk Prospector, you lose one land, which might be a big deal. How's it going, Norjas? And you do something like this. And then I believe that these should be punishments. And I'm going to discuss why I think punishment is the better sideboard card in a second. We have the Crater Maker main. We could make that into a Mod War Marshal, or we could just make it into another Skirk since we're down a land. And move this here. Take this out. I kind of don't like... I like the idea of having a bunch of tar fires, especially if you're gonna take out Chalice. So maybe you do leave this in. We have a Blood Moon and a Trash Master. We don't need the Crater Maker though. I think I would do this. Oh, the problem is that this doesn't have as many war chiefs, right? So that is itself an issue. Um, and I think because of that, I mean, I look at this curve and I'm just like, is this a modern curve right now? Like maybe I'm just supposed to play bidding, but I'm trying to figure out like which of these two lists to go with. And I really do feel like this should be there. This should be there. Crime Punishment is really good. We're replacing Chalice with it. So the reason I'm replacing Crime Punishment with Chalice is because um, this is just a 61 list, but then you draw bidding way less. Like that's the whole idea. Is because the decks you want Chalice against right now are is basically Hammer Time. Like that's what you're bringing in Chalice for. So Chalice means you have to get it really early, your opening hand. Obviously, you're going to try and mull towards Crime Punishment in your opening hand either way. But you can nab you can nab Urza's Saga before it grabs their important shit. And you can nab like Sigarda's aids that are already on the board. So that's why I'm replacing Chalice with Crime Punishment. It's a little bit slower, but on turn 2, you can cast it for 1. Now, it kills your Ignoble or your Skirk Prospector if you do that, but I think in those matchups, that's going to be worth it in general. So that's why I have that there. Let's mute this music real quick. Let's just pause it so I can think and definitely get in under the wire. We got 5 minutes to either adjust this deck or just queue up with this bidding deck. So the reason the bidding plan is good right now is because there's just a bunch of mid-range bullshit, and the reason you would play this version instead is to try and have better matchups against things like Hammer, where you have the out of comboing decently early and they don't have a ton of interaction. Also, Tron, if that shows up, I mean, you want to have some kind of game against Tron that isn't. You probably just can't ever beat Tron with a bidding list, is my guess. But there hasn't been a lot of Tron, like classic Tron. So I think bidding is the good meta call, and this Harbinger mess might just be, not good enough. And like maybe can't afford a chieftain in this version. And you go back to another war chief. And then the idea, I mean, the one land becomes less of a big. And then I just like, don't. One Harbinger, right? Like, what is that about? I think bidding is a good meta call. I mean, you kind of are just. Either way, you're deciding to tank one matchup because this list, well, this list has an easier time against Rhinos because we put bidding in it, but the combo is really bad against Rhinos, but bidding is good against Rhinos. And then the combo is good against Hammer, but bidding is terrible against something like Hammer. So, I mean, that's where you're at. And this also is in the board, which I didn't find room for somehow. So, having there instead. Oh, I have this engineered explosives, but this engineered explosives is our fire. Is the idea. Maybe we leave 2 tar fires, we cut a crime punishment. I think I think the I think the trash master is just too expensive. most of us have moved to John Conscript. There's things to be said about both types. I think I'm gonna try this. I feel like it attacks on enough angles. You have ways to beat fast combo, even if it's not super consistent at all. I'm gonna try it. It's 40 event tickets? Oh, fuck. I actually don't know if I have enough time. I thought it was 30. What's special about today that it's 40? If 39? Oh my god. Here, I know I have this. This is like the fastest way for me to do this. Go bot. Why it's 40 instead of 39? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I think it's 3 tickets. Constructed. I have 1 minute to make a decision. Wait. Modern Super Qualifier. Oh, the Modern Challenge. Oh, I didn't even need to do that. Okay. 1 minute to pick a deck. Do I think I'm going to see a ton of Hammer Time today? Or do I think I'm going to see a ton of Ragavan? I think I'm going to see a ton of both, to be honest. I'm going to go with this weird hybrid bidding list. We'll see how it works out. I mean, oh, there's like a fucking mosquito in this. That's not good. I killed a mosquito at my desk last night in like a tissue, and I need to blow my nose. I will be right back. We're queuing up for this event, getting started, and we're gonna play some music.
Just might get some sleep tonight. Ran into the devil, baby loaned me 20 bills. Spent the night in Utah, in a cave up in the hills.
So we won the die roll in our first match against 5-color Blood Moon. So what we're gonna do, are we gonna keep this hand? It looks pretty good. Sorry, just getting like something out from behind my desk. It looks pretty good. We have colors for all our spells. We have 2 1-drops. If they have a Ragavan, we have a blocker. We get up to Ringleader decently fast. So I think we got to keep this. There's like not. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the luck from both of you, Sugar Peach and Conscript. So we're gonna keep this. They mulligan. They keep on 6. We're gonna start on. It doesn't actually make a difference what you start on, but we're gonna start on unclaimed territory because either way we're revealing that we're a Goblins deck, and this keeps one of the cards in our hand a bit of a secret. I'm hoping. All right, so this is actually one of my worst nightmares. I noticed in the prelims that Heliod Company was back, and the combo is what helps us versus Heliod Company. I think this is still Heliod Company. And I ignored that, thinking, like, that's just a prelim. Like, it's not actually good right now. But here we are. It looks like round 1 we're playing against Heliod Company. So we'll play the Skirk Prospector out. We're going to Vial in the Hierarch at end of turn. We'll be at 4 mana, which we'll probably play the Ringleader over the Sling Gang. Ooh, it's Saheeli Cat is what's going on. Okay. Saheeli Cat is a little bit better for us. So they scry one and they put it on top, which obviously you'd rather than bottom it, but you don't get that option all the time. We don't get to kill Saheeli without any kind of... Alright, so here's the difficulty. If we don't kill Saheeli, and we're not going to, we run the risk of being catted. Unless we find a munitions expert off of this Ringleader. So, Ringleader it is. We'll make blue mana to pray to the gods of card draw, and see what we find here. Well, we find a munitions expert. The gods of card draw were kind today. So we have two options. We can just straight up bop the Saheeli, or we can kill the Ignoble to keep them off of the mana for Cat. I think bopping the Saheeli is probably better, just because it's not often we're going to get to straight up 1-for-1 this Planeswalker, and we'll take the opportunity. Now, it leaves them at 4 mana next turn, but their 4 mana plays are cats and things like that. Yeah, that was one of the best Ringleader hits we could have hoped for. Double Munitions Expert, Matron, another Ringleader. Like, if the day goes like that, you'll see us in the finals. Like, unfortunately, it doesn't often go like that. But we'll see. I need some water. Gotta get some water in between rounds. So I actually used to play green-white Saheeli. That was my deck for a while, because I'm a big Kiki-Jiki fan. Okay, so that just acts as a blocker. It doesn't really... Blinking that isn't actually better than blinking Basic Island. Unless you're looking to block. So it's an interesting move. So we have 5 mana. And then a Vial on 3. So we can Matron, we can bop this Felidar so we don't die to another Saheeli. We can end of turn Matron for a Kiki-Jiki to start copying Munitions Experts and probably win that way. And I kind of like the sound of that. So I'm just gonna... Let's go black, red. Now, new Saheeli is almost definitely playing Pitch Spells and Omnath. And by Pitch Spells, I mean Pitch Elementals and Omnath. I guess it's best to use this mana. I mean, if we really need to get a 3-drop, we have Skirk Prospector, but we'll just go like this. We'll just attack with everything that we can. They're at a pretty low life total. Next turn, we're ticking up our Sling Gang to 4, and they should be dead. I'm curious, did I miss lethal there by playing Sling Gang straight up? Like, they would have blocked 1. They would have taken 2. No, it couldn't have been. That's not 9 goblins, right? That's 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Although I guess Matron would have been the 9th, but if they block with Hierarch, then we're just like kind of dead to them playing a Saheeli out. So I wouldn't. I don't think that would have been a good play. only we had Skirk Fire Marshal. We're nowhere close to 10 goblins, believe it or not. Very unlikely that 10 goblins becomes, isn't it tap 10? Or is it tap 5 and do 10 damage? Yeah. We won anyway. Okay, so, 5 colors to Healy. It's 4 colors to Healy, but they probably play Oath of Nissa, which makes Blood Moon less good against them. In fact, in my green-white Saheeli deck, I used to play Blood Moon. So if they're built properly, like, not a huge deal. But it is possible that we want to play a Blood Moon. So what do they do to actually, like, win the game? They make infinite cats. It's like a Splinter Twin type thing. We can't get engineered explosives on 4, so that doesn't protect us at all. Tarfire kills the Saheeli during the combo. How's it going, Bob? Playing this weird hybrid combo bidding list. Just to see what we can do. Probably boarding out a couple Skirks unless I'm boarding in these Blood Moons. And it's possible that I am boarding in Blood Moons. I think Warren Weirding is like... It's not really worth a slot here. But maybe? Like, I think bidding is less likely to resolve against a blue deck. And I think we need to, like, continue the pressure. They might not be prepared for Moon. I mean, that's like... We saw Basic Island in their Ignoble Hierarch deck. I mean, I'm just trying to do my due diligence. I don't know. It's just like the most popular format, so it's hard to just be like, yeah, I'm off Modern. I only stream Legacy now, and it's like... I'm not even playing the Legacy deck I want to play. I think this is, like, not a matchup for bidding, actually. So, like, that gives us room for a Blood Moon. And then I wanted to know, like, maybe Warren Weirding just sucks, but... I mean, considering we cut both biddings, we're just, like, on the pure value plan and maybe comboing. So, like, how am I going to win this game? Not by drawing Mog War Marshal, right? Like, Blood Moon is probably better than drawing Mog War Marshal. I think we can go like this. So, if you've never seen the cat combo, I would like to kill the Hierarch. That is one of the reasons, like... and I think we keep this because they're on Hierarchs. But one of the reasons... One of the ways the Saheeli deck gets there is through... It's not ramp, it's like this pseudo-ramp by blinking their stuff, and they wait for you to tap out. Okay, I'm just gonna keep my life total fairly healthy, and I'm gonna reveal this Hierarch and put Aether Vial into play. They don't actually play that many creatures, but when they do play like a couple creatures, it'll be like Hierarch, Knight of Autumn, and Cat. And like literally killing any of those is good because if they sack Hierarch, it makes them less likely to be able to play the Cat and Saheeli in the same turn, which costs them 6 mana. Although Wall of Omens makes Warren Weirding awful. I didn't realize they were still in Wall of Omens. I would have thought that they got better cards than that. But damn. We're taking out that Warren Weirding now. So, we're just gonna Vial in. Tarfire's a good draw, actually. We'll Vial in the Hierarch. If they play Saheeli, we can kill it, I guess. We can, like, Vial in Noble, Flash and Munitions Expert, untap and Tarfire Saheeli. Oh, but what I was saying is during the Saheeli combo, the actual combo portion of it, yeah, this card too, they ramp pretty high. And they have all basics, so this Blood Moon is looking pretty bad. Probably just gonna pop this Renegade Rallier to keep a little bit of pressure on, so they can't blink it as well. On second thought, I don't care about 3 damage, I much more care about mana, so they're tapped out. I think I'm just gonna get a mountain here because I already have the Hierarch in play. And I have another fetch land that I can grab Stomping Ground with. Yeah, we kill Hierarch. So we're just gonna play Ringleader here and probably attack with Exalted is my guess. Nice, just firing all cylinders on finding munitions experts today, which is great. I think I have to get this Stomping Ground. So if I play Ringleader, I can vial in Munitions Expert to kill Renegade Rallier. They can untap, play basic land, Cat, blink land. They have 2 mana up, which isn't enough for Saheeli. So we're still safe for at least 1 turn, and we have another Munitions Expert and a Tarfire to interact with the combo, so we're doing pretty good right now, I would say. And we find a Matron and a Pashalik Mon, so those are good draws. I do think I want to keep the pressure up. I think that's really important against this deck. Notice they're already at 14 because their mana base is so painful. And they have no real board state to speak of. They also have Court of Calling if it's, like, at all taking from the old build. I don't know if they are. But keeping the board clear is not the worst. So we're going to untap, tick Vial up to 3. We have Matron to find Sling Gang. Or did we... I think we took Chieftain out and put another War Chief in because we just wanted to, like, pile on the board as much as we could. We may get angered here, but, I mean, we can rebuild from an anger decently well, so while it wouldn't be ideal, it's something that could happen. I know I used to play anger in my Kiki, or in my Saheeli Cat deck, because your actual combo doesn't die to it. All your other stuff might, but it doesn't matter as much. I was also on the Lotus Cobra version, though. That's what Autumn Lily played, and she was getting a ton of results. But it's really just because she's a Pro Tour winning player, and she can play anything. Have I thought about Goblin Chain Whirler? Yeah. There was Goblin Chain Whirler in my version a couple weeks ago. The problem with Goblin Chain Whirler is that it's sort of a combo card because the X ones that you want to kill are Dragon Rage Channeler and Ragavan, and you need to kill them way sooner than turn 3. And if you want to kill them, you're gonna also need a Leyline of the Void in play to kill a Dragon's Rage Channeler in turn 3. So, like, it ends up being much less powerful than it looks on its face. Even against the decks that you're like, sometimes this will be great, it's even less than that. So, definitely using Aether Vial's ability. Another Aether Vial's, like, not what you want to see. So we can kill this voice, but then it becomes a 2/2. It's kind of difficult for us to get through this board right now. So we have to pick a play that deals 13 damage. And I think what we're gonna do So, I think the thing to do is to play Matron, tutor up Sling Gang, and then Violin Pashlik Mons the whole time you're holding up Tarfire. I think that, although they didn't have a 5th land, so we don't need to hold up Tarfire. Do you think you just wait for Matron, Sling? Yeah, that's actually exactly what I just said. So, because I want to get Pashlik Mons in play to make sure that that kills them. This 2 mana implies interaction, especially with 4 cards in hand, and they're just playing Voice of Resurgence here. But yeah. So the other option is to just play Pashlik Mons out instead of Matron, but I think it's probably safer. We're gonna use this mana to play Matron out. Grab Sling Gang, like I said. I don't think they're playing Ghost Quarters or things like that. You could attack here. I'm not gonna. Now, this is weak to a sweeper. Like, it's very weak to a sweeper. Again, we can rebuild from a sweeper, but this is weak to a sweeper. 5 mana is a little bit scary. I assume they're playing Teferi these days. Hold up Tarfire and Munitions Expert. Oh, I see. I mean, the reason I'm not doing that is because they don't have enough mana to play Cat, and oh, they do have enough mana off of Evolution. Okay, but they'll be tapped out. So here they're going for the combo, and it's not going to work because of what we have. So when they go to blink it, Saheeli is at 1, and now they target Saheeli, and in response, we Tarfire it. Now they get an Elemental, but they're dead next turn is the idea. So all they got is a 1/4 haste. Pact Negation, that would be something. I don't even think they can pay for Pact, can they? Yeah, they can. Take 1. You got me. So I believe that they're incredibly dead. I think that's my read on the situation. So we Violin. But you can see, they're scary. If you're not like paying attention and leaving up the right amount of mana, you just will die. But we're on like the super Munitions Expert, Tarfire heavy build, and we properly boarded, so... Well, other than bringing in Blood Moon against the 4-color, 3 basic lands deck. Snoop is interesting. It's another set of goblins, so I guess I'll play it. When I say set, you know, it's another goblin to sack just to definitely get there. But this Pashlik machine gun is going to prove lethal. They could have pitch elementals, which is why you use Vial instead of your mana. And Warren Weirding. Yeah, we actually boarded almost exactly wrong. I said we boarded properly. The only thing we did properly... Oh, okay. That is kind of bad because it makes us do not all of the damage we need to do. Because they're going to take our Pashlik Mons. And we're not going to get fancy here because they could just play... They could top deck another Saheeli. They could top deck another Saheeli, so having Munitions Expert up is important. But let's see. They have 1, 2, 3 blockers. They block 3 guys. They take 3, they go to 9. This is the 10th damage, or they go to 9, this is 8, and then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So, and then this would be 1. So we don't have enough to kill them. Well, I guess if I took out a blocker with Munitions Expert, then I do have enough to kill them. Is that how that works? So I play this. I swing with 4 creatures. They block the 2 biggest. So then they take 2. They go to 10. Then I sack the 2 creatures that are blocked. 9, 8. 7, 6. 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the Munitions Expert is 0. So they're dead. And I guess that is the real cost of Pitch Elementals. Just cost so many cards in your hand. They exiled Solitude to Solitude. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Let's just... So we took some good lines. That got us to this position, and we pulled it out. So that's the kind of deck that we like playing against. It's mid-range, it's combo, it's everything we're doing, and you're going to see a lot of play skill shine through, deck familiarity, that sort of thing. So I'm going to take a very quick break. We're 1-0 right now in the challenge with our weird hybrid combo bidding Snoop list. And we're just going to keep going. What we're going to do between rounds, I don't know. We could play StarCraft. We could just yell at each other. Figure that out when I get back. Anyway, enjoy the music while I grab myself some water and mentally prepare for the rest of this day. All right, I've just decided. I have got nothing. It's almost lunchtime. There's about 25 minutes before the next round because you can bet the first round is going to time. I am going to leave you guys here for as long as it takes me to go grab a bagel down the street, which is not long. I'm going to time myself to make sure that I'm not just like, losing the next round. But I will be right back. I'm going to leave the music on. I'm going to turn it up a little bit to where I see my voice peaking. And I will see you guys on the other side of this long-ish break. And for the next round. And then we'll do stuff between rounds after this. Hopefully I'm in it for at least 2 more rounds. So I will be back.
I didn't know a stage line ran from hell. She had raven hair, a ruffled dress, a necklace made of gold, all the fresh perfume you'd care to smell. Took me up into a room whispered in my ear, go on, my friend, do anything you choose. No, let's get out. Did a damn good case of the Mexicali blues. Hey, hey, anything a man don't stand to lose. When the devil wants to take it all away, cherish well your thoughts, keep it tight on the booze. Just thinking and drinking out all I have today. Hey. Down, some thought he was a law. Billie Jean was waiting when he came. She told me he would take her if I didn't use my gun. I'd have no one but myself to blame. We danced to those dusty streets, blood was on my mind. I guess that stranger hadn't heard the news. 'Cause I shot him first and killed him, although he didn't even draw. And now it's in my life done running with the Mexicali blues. Hey, he said anything a man don't stand to lose. When he lets a woman hold him in her hand, you just might find yourself out there on horseback in the dark, just riding and running across those desert sands. Hey,
I was feeling low, lacking in some direction. Althea told me upon scrutiny that my back might need protection. I told Althea that treachery is tearing me limb from limb. Althea told me, down boy, settle down, easy Jim. your grace. You may be a clown in the burying ground, but just another pretty face. You may be the fate of Ophelia, sleeping and perchance to the point of recklessness, self-centered at the extreme. Nobody messing with you but you. Your friends are getting most concerned. Loose with the truth, baby, it's your fight. But you know I hope you don't get burned. When the smoke has cleared, she said, what she said to me. What a bed to lay your head and a little sympathy. And others you cannot. Time has come to weigh those things. This space is getting hard. You know this space is getting hard. I'm a rolling sand. I was born to be a bachelor. Althea told me, okay, that's fine. You know now I'm trying to catch her. Can't talk to you without talking to me. Guilty of the same old thing. Thinking a lot about listeners and forgetting the love we bring.
going to do a tune we did last night on account of we need to do it again because we need the practice. Killed a hunter back in 1969. And before the killing was done, his inheritance was mine. But his birthright was one to win before a weary band. Esau gave me sleeplessness and a piece of moral land. Esau tried to build the world a marvelous disguise, where every street is easy and there's nothing to deny. Though he gave me all his cards, I could not play his hand. The choice that soon became a stand. Esau is on roller skates today, selling real estate to someone in L.A. Still sometimes at night I dream, feel that hairy man, shadow box in the apocalypse and wandering the land. Shadow boxing the apocalypse and wandering the land.
We're back. Didn't take that long. Let me see, I set a timer actually. I set a timer instead of looking at the time, which is what I should have done. To tell myself when I needed to be back by. But I wanted to know how long it took me. It took me less than 15 minutes. And at least 2 minutes of that I was looking for my keys because I couldn't find where I put them. So we're 1-0. Oh, the music is louder, isn't it? So we're 1-0. Gotta do all this fucking balancing again now that I fucked it up. Well, no, let's bring up the deck. I probably should have had the deck up while I was away. But you know what? You live and learn, and then you stay a mediocre streamer. But this is what we're playing. Couple interesting choices in this deck. I'll see if you can spot them while I eat my bagel. I'm more than willing to answer any questions of why I did it. I think it was a bad idea, but we'll see how it turns out. Yeah. I made the mistake of getting a bagel from the deli instead of like the bagel store, like next door. Just because I thought it would be faster. I figured they probably got their bagels from them. They're like literally 2 doors down. Why would you bake your own bagels? They don't bake their own bagels, but they also don't get them from that deli because they suck. I should have just got it on a roll. But we're just learning life lessons all around today. Do I want to become famous? Yeah, I do. I'm just gonna click this link live on stream. What do you think it actually is? Like, I clicked it. Wow, they're not even good spammers. The link not found. The link has expired or is no longer available. I thought I was gonna be famous. Instead, you're getting a ban for posting broken links in the chat. Don't do that. That's ban-worthy. So, wait, where's the timer? Oh, I gotta fix the timer. You know, do I lean this way more? Yeah, I do. Has anyone played that new Pokemon MMO? Not MMO. You know what I'm saying, MOBA. Is it any good? I have like friends that are Dota fiends that are playing it, at least a little bit. But if they still enjoy Dota, they're on a different wavelength than me. Like, it's just insanity. Yeah, that seems I mean, that's why I want to play it, right? Like, but I think I was watching EE. I wish I remembered what EE, what is it, Eternal Envy? Is that what it stands for? But the Smash commentator, the bigger half of the Black Plague, I was watching him play it for like 2 minutes, and it had like every problem that a MOBA has. Like I just watched him wander into 4 people, get killed immediately, and wait for respawn. And I was just like, oh yeah, so it's like the same game that I already don't want to play. Maybe I just won't download it. What is going on here? There's a Mr. Mime Blitzcrank that's beating the shit out of a bird. I don't know what bird. But the bird had a Pikachu in its mouth for a second? So he blinks away? Is that how you get blink? You put a Pikachu in your mouth? Because it seems like he didn't have blink until he started having the Pikachu. I mean, why is this thing so fast and this Mr. Mime so slow? I'm just trying to understand what's going on. I can't even scroll through Twitter on stream because it doesn't matter if I follow them, but there's so many female Magic streamers with OnlyFans that get their posts liked and retweeted. You can't scroll through that on stream. You're actually not allowed. Not that I think I'd get banned, but I unfollowed and it didn't work. I still get that stuff on my feed because other people like it. And if you follow enough people in the Magic community, somebody will like it. So M. Hayashi plays decks that I would like to play. But can't because I play Goblins. But he's got some really interesting takes on a lot of stuff. And I want to test if he's just that good. Or if, like, the decks are good. You know what I mean? Am I not? Alright. We got one match left here. 52 minutes on the timer.
Don't you let that deal go down. 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 No, no.
Thank you, Jocko. Part of the reason we're on bidding today is because not only is it against Ragavan decks, I think bidding may be the only way that you could possibly beat Footfalls, Teamer Rhinos, Teamer Cascade, whatever you want to call it. Now, the problem with that is they have 4 Force of Negation and 3 Cryptic Commands, but if they leave in their 4 Force of Negations, you're probably like, okay. But I gotta be honest, this is like a super unwinnable matchup for us. But the bidding plan gives you a chance, I think. So because I expect to see Rhinos, Hammer, and just Ragavan decks, I'm on bidding / Harbinger combo. But obviously leaning a lot towards bidding. Only 2 cards dedicated to the Snoop combo that I wouldn't be playing in a bidding list. And these 4 Snoops help dig you towards bidding. So that's the idea. It's like, this is a long shot, this Kiki Jiki Harbinger thing. And they're serviceable goblins, especially on the bidding plan. So, I mean, you have tutors to find the Harbinger, so it's like, whatever. But we're mostly on the mid-range amount. Even playing 2 War Chiefs. This tournament round is taking forever. All right. I have my giant coffee. If I drink all this in one round, you should call an ambulance. Let's get back to the proper scene. All right. Of course, the card preview window isn't up right now, and it's impossible to know if it will just appear. We don't want the GoPod chat. Let's see if, oh no, we should be on this one. Let's see if the preview window pops up. Match 1, we played against 4-color Saheeli. Green-white Saheeli. Looked very classic. Like, Voice of Resurgence, Eldritch Evolution, Saheeli Cat. Renegade Rallier was even in it, which I didn't expect. You would think that there'd be like Soul Herders or something. I didn't see them. That doesn't mean they weren't there. Namor Squats. This dude is they're known, right? So we can't keep a 1-lander, especially not one that looks like this, especially not on the play. So we're gonna mull to 6. And this we can keep. I mean, if we were on the classic combo build, we wouldn't keep it. But here, considering that we're playing towards a bidding, we can just buy as much time as we possibly can. And a turn 1 Hierarch is a pretty good start to that. Hopefully we draw something like a Matron. Looks like we're against Blue-Red Ragavan. There it is. There's the ringleader that we hoped for. Just gonna grab a mountain here. Hit him for 3 while we can. War Chief, if it survives, which I doubt it will be a nice turn 3. Grinding Station, so we're not against Blue-Red Ragavan. This is fastest Oracle combo. Having a lot of pressure will be good here. I guess I should play... Is there something that I would get with Matron that I would be able to play other than another Mog War Marshal? I don't think so. So I think I'm gonna go... No, I'm specifically not playing Pile Driver because it doesn't do anything except attack fast and die to Lightning Bolt. And there's nothing that's like blue that I really want to attack through where the pro blue matters. The entire format is red. Like the whole format is red. So your 1/2 protection from blue just doesn't do anything unless you're already winning. Like I guess Pile Driver here would be okay, but it still wouldn't be great. I think we would have the same clock, actually. So let's see. I can Matron, and I can get 2 Mog War Marshals, and I could swing for 2, 4, 6, 7. Now that plays really poorly into a sweeper. Again, like I'm saying, I think the Mog War Marshal plan gets them dead in 2 turns as well. It wouldn't be lethal. There's no way. You play War Marshal, you play Pile Driver, you play Matron. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 Goblins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Goblins. It gets +2/+2, 10, 11, 12, 13. I guess it is lethal. Wow. I'm not really worried about sweepers. I'm more worried about, like, real interaction. Can hit him for 4. Next turn, if I don't find a land, I think I'm supposed to grab Sling Gang with this Matron and play Matron War Marshal. I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll do this. I mean, I guess I could also kill the grinding station. I don't even know if I have that main or not. I don't have the artifact interaction main. We could get another War Chief and play it. We could also just smack him with Snoop instead of War Marshal and not, like, worry about sweeper type stuff. I think Sling Gang is, like, probably the best play, though. Although, not really. I mean, that's what people play, Jocko, and I removed it. Like, you just... I don't think it's good against the meta. Like, whether or not it's good against this deck, sure, but it's not good against the meta. That being said, here, we have a ringleader. If we're going to keep a board state, it's, like, not a big deal. I think I'm supposed to get Snoop, actually. You don't have to worry about paying Echo. You draw closer to your other cards. Seeing Munitions Expert on top is good. Now, obviously, it's a call I made that is, like, not the call other people are making. Wow, so this is a Dragon's Rage Chandler grinding station deck? Like, I guess the Surveil helps that much, but damn. That's a little bit wild. I fully expected them to kill my Snoop here. Let me see. We definitely don't want to draw this Aether Vial. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can kill this. I don't think that they had a choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're one short. We're one short by playing War Marshal Ringleader. We could find something with Ringleader, but chances are we don't. I don't know how much the Dragon's Rage Channeler matters in this specific position. And I really don't want to draw this Aether Vial. I'm gonna kill the Dragon's Rage Channeler. They could play an Emery next turn, and it's like, okay, you have a non-hasty Emery. Who cares? Let's just get this out of the way. Hit them for as much as we can. We actually take them to 1 here? Or 2? Either way, cracking this fetch land is, like, not as good as it might be. So they're gonna nab my War Chief, I think, so that I don't have haste based on the ordering. Yeah. Which, I mean, there's something to be said for that. it does make my play slightly worse. I think I still play Mog War Marshal to get a 1/1 into play, and I don't plan on paying Echo. So it's good that we chose to use this play because we had enough mana to do everything anyway. So Underworld Breach, they don't have a way to kill us, although this might be it. Emery does 1 a turn. They need to find... Oh no. They found it, didn't they? Mishra's Bauble does it? But they don't have mana? Oh man, did we just die to this? Was there a way to stop this other than just killing them a turn faster? I think we're dead, but I actually don't know. Alright, what if I had matroned for something else? Do I get around this? Alright, there's the mana. So, they make blue mana, they find Thassa's Oracle. I don't know what the fail conditions for this are. Like, if they don't have Thassa's Oracle in hand, they have to use a spell to draw into it, right? No, they mill themselves to find Thassa's Oracle, yeah. Well, yeah, Leyline Game 2 does it, obviously. This is a Leyline meta for sure. I'm just trying to think if there's a way... I thought I had them dead on the next turn and then I somehow didn't. Maybe I was just supposed to play Ringleader because it attacked for more and helped us find more goblins to attack for more. But that bolt was gonna interact with us favorably no matter what, right? Yes, they can't keep looping it if they target us. I'm assuming they have Thassa's Oracle in hand, but I don't know if sometimes they need to draw it, and I kind of want to figure that out. But we just got wrecked. Alright, so they have it in hand, is what we've learned, because there's only 3 cards left in their library. Bam. So... Does Crime Punishment do it here? This is way worse than Chalice, but bringing in Chalice and Leyline is, like, often a little much. Blood Moon, probably decent. Engineered Explosives definitely coming in. Do I want to bring in Crime Punishment? I'm assuming they're on Urza Saga, right? Oh man, I'm so dumb. You're right. Yeah, the Bolt on Warchief would have gotten us no matter what. Like, Pile Driver or whatever. Like, our Pile Driver would be dead, the same as anything else would be dead. So... I guess you bring in Masked Vandal. I guess Gaia's Blessing is, like, interesting, but I don't think it actually... Because it's sorcery speed. 88 Cobra, thank you for the follow. Do we need to kill Emery? Is it worth it to bring in Munitions Experts just to kill Emery? Probably not. We want to get him dead as fast as we can. Are these Crime Punishments good? You saw we had, like, 1 turn to interact with that grinding station. You have no time to interact with the Underworld Breach. Like, it's an enchantment, but not really. That's my deck, Painter Grindstone. Maybe Tarfire is actually worse than Munitions Expert because we're probably always going to have things to kill, enough stuff to kill Emery with, but, oh, Patriarch Spinning is way too slow, isn't it? Like, that's just not happening this game. So we bring in this. Do I bring in Blood Moons? No, because they can just Underworld Breach and they have mana from the Amber. I don't think Crime Punishment is, like, really gonna do it here. But I'm willing to bring in 2 over these Munitions Experts. And see how that does for us. Well, thank you for checking us out. How did you find us on YouTube? I'm always curious how that works, because, like, I don't put any work into, like, promoting YouTube. I don't put any tags on it. I only link it in the Discord. I think this is keepable. We have Engineered Explosives to stop a bit of their combo. Engineered Explosives on 1 also doesn't hurt us. Grinding Station costs 1, right? Killing the Legend messes with them, yes and no. You'll never stop them from making 1 blue mana with a Mox Amber if it resolves. Like, you just don't get priority at the right time. So, like, they can replay Emery from their graveyard for 1. EE on 2 does kill the Breach. If you hold 2 mana open the rest of the game. Grinding Station. Grinding Station costs 2 as well. We're not gonna play Engineered Explosives for a couple turns though. We're gonna play Snoop. This is a fantastic song. All right, so like this is the issue with the format in general right now, but it's very difficult to keep any kind of board state against any deck. They're just all playing red no matter what, because it's the best color in Modern by a mile. So Ignoble not sticking around means that the best card we got from Modern Horizons 2 is often just a 1-for-1. And all of the other decks' best cards from Modern Horizon 2 are better than that. That's interesting, Cobra. I would not have guessed that you didn't speak English as your first language, so no need to apologize. We have a couple Italian people in the Goblins, in this chat specifically, but in the Goblins Discord in this chat. I think, there's an Italian Melee player, and there's 2 of them actually. I think it's Keska and somebody else. Yeah. My Italian is like 3 words, and they're like, they're fake Bronx words. They're not even real words. Okay. So, can they combo us in 1 turn from here? If they play Grinding Station, Breach, that costs them 4 mana, so I have another turn. Am I wrong? I think I have another turn. Which means I'm gonna play War Chief. Now, I expect a Lightning Bolt, but you can't EE if they play Grinding and Breach because, no, they can't ever do a combo where they have to play multiple baubles or artifacts out in response, right? Because they don't have flash. so if Engineered Explosives is ever good and we pulled an Abrade out of their hand, so it just got a tiny bit better. You can definitely break up the combo if there is a way to break it up, period. Like, there's no in response going on, but Alright, so this is Grinding Station, which means I have to play this Engineered Explosives on 2 for sure. And leave up mana to crack it. They know about the Stomping Ground on top, so we're gonna play that instead. We're also going to make sure that we make 2 colors of mana. Green and black, no red. And so if they play Underworld Breach, I believe you can let it resolve. They can cast 1 thing and then... yeah, I was like sort of semi-aware of that, Beebs, which is why this matchup is never going to be like fantastic. When Bolt is like part of your plan A, it means they're never boarding it out. They always have interaction. Blue-red combo decks are like kind of Goblin's worst nightmare. Wooded Foothills, not a great draw. I think we're going to attempt to thin our deck. We can't really attack into this with more than Mog War Marshal. Attacking into it with Mog War Marshal and then blocking means that our Mog War Marshal has haste, the token that comes off of it, and we don't have to pay Echo, which I don't think I'm going to pay Echo because I kind of need to draw something here. I was supposed to really mulligan for Leyline, wasn't I? Why did I not mulligan harder for Leyline now that I'm thinking about it? Like, I had a decent hand, but it wasn't good. Like, I'm supposed to mulligan for Leyline. And I just didn't do that. I kept, like, a middling hand. So not great. If we, yeah, it's just, like, obviously supposed to... I'm playing 4 Leylines, and I just, like... My brain was not working properly, and I forgot that that was my plan here. Top deck Leyline actually does help. Usually it doesn't, but here it would. I'm definitely gonna thin my deck. I think we get at least 1 more turn. They have to attack. So one of the rare situations where attacking would be incorrect if they weren't forced. So they cast Engineered Explosives on 0, which is going to kill all my fucking tokens. And my Engineered Explosives, which sucks. So I believe I have to do this now because I want to be able to draw a Sling Gang Lieutenant and kill them instead of being forced to do this on my turn. So I have to do this. We kill Grinding Station. We open ourselves up to all sorts of lines for the combo. I've tried to build a list with main deck Chalices. I think that main deck Chalice in Modern is... I don't want to say a trap, but it's like you can't get it out like so early that it prevents 1-drops, right? And you're usually trying to prevent 1-drops and not 0-drops. And then on top of that, there's a lot of 2-mana interaction in general, but like, you know, you can expect most decks to be playing Abrade, Abrupt Decay, Prismatic Ending, whatever now, right? So like, it's probably going to get removed, and it doesn't lock out the game early enough that you can't just then get like tempoed out. So every time I build it, I'm just like, is it really worth it? All right, so they have double Mishra's Bauble. They eventually mill, but they don't... Wait a second. They have Bauble. They have grind. So killing the Grinding Station actually doesn't affect anything? Is that what I've learned? So now they have Grinding Station. They just keep milling us out with Engineered Explosives or Mishra's Baubles. And we die the same way. that we died last game. So we're dead. Yeah, I definitely should have mulled harder for Leyline. Like, I have them in the deck. There's no reason. Yeah, it taxes their mana, but we don't get far. I actually had fine sideboard cards for that, and I didn't mull to them, which I forgot is how you play Modern. Like somebody mentioned, I've been playing a lot of Legacy, and you can just keep fair hands in Legacy because the game will go long. It is not the case in Modern. You have to hamstring your opponent immediately because everything is so swingy. Anyway, chalices also make ringleaders worse. Here's something that I want to address because people talk a lot about making your ringleaders worse, and people have done the math to figure out what you need for your ringleader. Here's a chart. Who posted this? Nobody here, so I don't have to give them. So here is what? Why did that just happen? Here is the number of goblins you have in your deck and how many you are likely to hit off of ringleader. So each line is differently colored. Sorry for you colorblind people, but I will explain it to you. The chance of hitting 0 goblins is down here. And you can see that it's basically the inverse of the chance of hitting 4 goblins, right? The chance of hitting 1 or 2 goblins together is the majority of cases. Actually, 1, 2, or 3 is the vast majority of cases, right? You can see that 1 and 3 are also the inverse of each other. As one goes up, the other goes down. Most of the time, you're going to be hitting... at any point along this curve, you're either hitting 2 or 1 goblins or 2 or 3 goblins. As long as you don't go below 26 goblins, more than 50% of the time, you'll hit 1.5 plus, right? So the chance of it whiffing is very low. Well, 2930 is the magic number if you want to have an equal chance of hitting 2 and 3 and 0 and 4, sure. When you go above 30, yeah, your chance of getting a shit ton of goblins goes way up. But the point of this is, as you go down to like a small number of goblins, you don't really change your chance of getting, of really missing. Like, at worst, and we're talking about 26 goblins. Now, maybe you're in the middle of a game and you've pulled a bunch of goblins out of your deck, but you've also pulled lands out of your deck. So, usually these ratios stay intact. But you're never going to be, even in the worst boarding situations where you're boarding down to 26 goblins, you're really not going to get worse than 1 in 10 times you whiff, right? Obviously, more goblins means more hits on ringleader. You can see that in the chart. You don't change it that much, right? You don't change it that much. And we sit here quibbling about, well, is 21 lands or 22 lands the right number? That's a 2% difference. And we're talking about, it's just, you're not gonna, you're gonna think you notice it, but chances are you're not gonna notice it. That's really what it comes down to. You can play a quote-unquote low number of goblins, and you're still doing okay on hitting them, right? And the smarter you play, the more you increase that probability because you don't shuffle your deck to get the dead draws back in after you whiff on a thing or whatever. Moving around small percentages is the name of the game. Sure, that's very true. You want to get the highest edge you can, but you shouldn't be afraid to go down to less goblins for any rational reason. You have to understand that when you're rolling the dice, you're already rolling the dice. So improving or like not improving or hurting your chances by 1 or 2% is like, it's unfortunate. It might be a tiny bit painful. There's no hard and fast rules though, because you're already rolling the dice. You know what I mean? You're already leaving it up to chance. I mean, that's my opinion. Like, you're already not playing a card where you can just definitely kill somebody deterministically. Like, and then on top of that, it's not just the percentage points on Ringleader. It's like, when I cast my Ringleader, how many hits are actually in my deck? Because inevitably, it's not all 30 of my goblins that are actually hits on Ringleader, right? Like, if those goblins really matter, the ones I'm looking for are experts, they're other ringleaders, they're matrons. And you can't play more of those than we're already playing, right? So like, adding fluff to your goblin count like ignoble, it doesn't help you too much, you know what I mean? Like, adding uncastable goblins on that turn, or non-hasty goblins, or whatever. There's very few cards that will actually be the correct thing to hit, right? So like, when you're just looking to put cards in your hand, Ringleader is great. But when you're talking about those tight turns where it really matters, your odds are way lower than you think already to hit the goblins that are relevant. You're looking for matrons, you're looking for experts, you're looking for war chiefs, I suppose. You're usually not looking for hierarchs. So anytime you're counting your goblins and you count the hierarchs among them for Ringleader, you might be doing yourself a disservice, right? So like, we play how many in this list? Just pile them all in this column just to get a quick count. We play 33. Who said 33 was the sweet spot? Or 33 is better than 30? So we play 33. It's not like we're going low, but like, if it's between playing Patriarch's Bidding in your deck, you know, what is 1 out of 60? Here, like, we're talking about why it's not worth it to move a few percentage points down. When you have 60 cards and there's two Patriarch's Biddings in your deck, and you get one draw at it, let's say. So this is a 3% chance, right? Just having 2 copies of Bidding is a 3% chance. So all of the motion along these curves may be counteracted by, well, if I had just drawn a Bidding instead, and I definitely win on a Bidding, as opposed to like, I have, you know, an X% chance to hit not just any goblin, but the goblins that win. You know what I mean? So like, there's plenty of situations where you want to board not non-goblins in, because you got a 3% chance to hit a 2 of in your deck on any draw, and that's the beginning of the game. And obviously, as we filter goblins out of our deck and we go down to something like, let's say we're at, you know, 48 cards, and we still have 2 Biddings left, and we're just gonna hit a draw step, like, you know, it goes up a little bit. And these percentages are comparable. I'll say that. They're not equal. I won't say they're equal. I have no idea which one is greater when you're, you know, going through this, because that just takes tons of analysis. But they're comparable. So don't be afraid to board in the modern powerhouse sideboard cards, because I won't have as many goblins. Like, usually when you resolve a sideboard card, your chance of winning the game is like enormous. So it's not a bad idea to cut goblins while you're boarding. Like, it's okay. Not the end of the world. As long as your sideboard cards are good. Now, we just made the mistake of not boarding, or not mulliganing hard enough to our sideboard cards, which is basically the name of the game of Modern. So we're going to have to stay more on top of that as we go throughout the day. So what are we going to do between rounds? First, we're going to switch to the between rounds thing. We're going to make the timer actually work by pulling up the proper scene. And look, that's my analysis. Obviously, more goblins is better. It's not wrong. Do I think 21 lands is enough for goblins? To be honest, no. I think 22 lands is probably better. But so this is another thing. How many lands do you need to have a functional goblins hand? Is the question that we're trying to answer, and you usually want to see 2. So the chance of having 2 or more lands with 21 lands is just under 80%. So it's 78%. And the chance of having less than 2, which is a 1-lander, well, it's obviously the inverse of that. But you want to also check, which hands have ignobles, vials, whatever. But if you go to 22 lands, you'll see you're getting over that arbitrary 80% mark. And it is arbitrary. The difference of 3%, it's like you're going to notice it over thousands of games, probably not even hundreds of games. But it's, I think 22 is probably correct, especially when you're trying to hard cast 5 drops like bidding. However, today, when making this list, this is it. I hedged by adding another Skirk Prospector because it makes mana. It is sometimes a 2-land hand with Skirk Prospector. And you can get by on a lot less when you have Hierarchs and Vials. So in some ways, you're running 29 mana sources. In some ways, you're running 33 mana sources. Are they lands? No. But if you're casting bidding, Skirk Prospector might as well be a land, right? And so we want to be able to block the monkey. We want to have Goblins for Munitions Expert. And the 3% difference, I didn't feel like doing any kind of calculations to figure out if Vial and Hierarch were enough. But if we're going to be winning anything with Goblins, we kind of have to get a little bit lucky. So I didn't push into it too hard. But I do want 22 lands in the list. I don't know what I cut for the 22nd land. I think 23 lands is probably closer to right. But again, the list gets really tight and our cards are not powerful enough. I don't think. Maybe they are. But buying time is very difficult in Modern with Goblins without enough Goblins specifically. And we don't have, I guess to give an example of what I mean by that. In Legacy number 1, the games are longer anyway. They're just already longer. But you also have Munitions Expert. You have a lot of the same Modern tools. You have Munitions Expert to kill stuff. You have Vial to make your land drops better. You have things like Crater Maker, War Marshal, Buy Time. You even have Jump Bomb Incinerator, which is just better than this. But also, a large portion of your lands buy you time. We're talking 7 lands that just straight up buy you a ton of time as Goblins, and then you cast just straight up game-winning spells like Muxus, which bidding is similar, but you have to have cast other things that aren't necessarily getting you there in Modern because you don't interact that well. If Living End can exist in... Well, Living End has existed for a while. So, this Muxus thing is something I've thought of a lot. So people used to say what you're saying, Conscript, in the Discord and stuff, and I used to be like, you're nuts. Muxus is way too good for Modern. Like, that's... Like, Muxus is a bannable card. Like, Goblins can do gross stuff. You get out Muxus, and, like, your chances of losing are pretty close to 0. And we already had a good enough plan. Now, with Monkey, Dragon's Rage Channeler, Murktide Regent, I don't even think Muxus puts us in tier 1. Like, I don't even think it puts us in tier 1 without... No, I just don't. It doesn't even matter what you're doing. Because we have legacy power level cards, and yeah, it's an amount of inevitability that we sort of need. Our problem is we interact poorly with a lot of Modern combos, and our combo itself isn't that great. Now, what Muxus allows us to do is actually stop worrying about the Snoop Harbinger combo. And if you can imagine these 3 cards becoming Muxus. So the strength of Snoop Harbinger, if you didn't know, is that you can just 1, 2, 3 combo. Like, turn 2 play Snoop, turn 3 Harbinger. They don't have interaction, they're dead. You can actually turn 3 Muxus just as easily. You turn 1 Skirk Prospector, turn 2 Mog War Marshal, turn 3 Muxus. Because you make your 3rd land drop, you sack all 3 of your goblins, you have 6 mana, you go for it, Muxus finds all this shit, and you put it into play. So that's usually a kill. So like, having that kind of frees up some room for interaction and things like that in the rest of your deck. You'd keep 1 Kiki in the... Well, these Patriarchs are completely, like... I threw these in 10 minutes before. 10 minutes before the round. In the one match we won, we boarded them out. I wouldn't worry too much, Keska. I don't think Coco Goblins is good. I built it on stream the other day. This isn't it. This was a joke, Green Goblins. I think Elves is much better positioned than Goblins right now, in case anybody was wondering. If you have the choice of both, play Elves. Elves just... I mean, you're never losing to Ragavan because it hit you, right? If you play Elves. If you don't want to die to that, you're fine. Yeah, infinite mana. It takes too long to set up the infinite mana Craterhoof combo. And all of the Glimpse clones that aren't Realm Walker are really bad. But you can play the affinity game and just attack over the top with Shaman of the Pact. So I think that's the strength of it. And it's really, really good. It's like, I used to play it a lot. Green sideboard cards are like the shit right now. These Leyline of the Voids could easily be Endurances instead. Like, this sideboard is junk. But where is... I thought I had one that I had built with Coco. Maybe I put it in standard so I didn't have to look at it? Yeah. So, the problem with Collected Company is that, in Goblins specifically, and this is like deck building theory that maybe not a lot of people realize, so I guess I'm glad I'm getting to say it. The strength of Collected Company is that you get to put creature cards with mana value 3 or less among them onto the battlefield for 4 mana. Now, if you find 2 drops with Collected Company, you've spent 4 mana on 2 2-drops, you're 1 card ahead, right? And that's good. It's not bad. You'll notice though, Merfolk doesn't even want to do that. Coco Merfolk doesn't really take off. But the problem is twofold in Goblins. Number one, kind of like what Keska's alluding to, you don't want to play strictly 3 and under cards in your Collected Company deck because a lot of the best Goblins cards are 4 mana, Ringleader, which is like a fake Collected Company, but Ringleader and Sling Gang Lieutenant, right? Like those are great. But number 2, Collected Company means you want to overload on 3 mana Goblins, right? And our 3 mana Goblins, they look like they're above rate because they have these, they give you haste, which is like the strongest keyword ability in the game. They make your Goblins cheaper, I guess, which is like, okay, you already have 4 mana, but I don't know, if you draw more cards, which you can't, by the way, but like, fine. This is a Lord that gives haste. The point is, the Lords are not good at 3 mana. They're actually overcosted at 3 mana. You compare Goblin Chieftain to Lord of Atlantis, which is not a new card. Lord of Atlantis is very old. This is not Fire Design here. Compare this to Lord of Atlantis, where it's 2 mana, they got +1/+1, and they're unblockable now. You know what I mean? Like, that's an insane Lord. And it only costs 2 mana. That's what a Tribal Lord looks like. Compare that to Marrow Reejery at 3 mana. Compare that to or is that not how you spell it? I think it's Reejery, right? Does it have a, is it like that? What? Is it not Marrow? Is it Marrow? Yes, it's Marrow. Okay. And it was Reejery. I don't know why it didn't show up like that. Compare that to Marrow Reejery, which is what a 3 mana Lord maybe should look like. But they don't even play that many of them. Like, compare that to, I don't know, Silvergill Adept. Like, you can't draw cards off of your Collected Company in Goblins, and you can't get any kind of, like, really good Lord that does anything to, like, really swing it in your favor after just playing the Collected Company, right? Because the haste is useless without other Goblins in your hand. Yeah, basically. Or more cards to draw, because you can cast Collected Company on their end step. Now, it means you can main phase Collected Company, which is, like, a thing, I suppose, but, like, not that great. It's better as a combo assembler, but if your combo doesn't have haste, you're kind of shit out of luck. And if you're playing the Grumgully combo, which you would be, you can't do the damage combo. You can only do the mana combo. So again, you're doing this Collected Company to hopefully hit, to hopefully have the other cards that make the Collected Company good. And that, it's just like, you're not just like slamming on all cylinders when you hit a Collected Company. It's not like hitting Eternal Witness off your Collected Company, because that's like just an engine, right? Like, you Eternal Witness your Collected Company back, you get a 2/1 body, some other value card, and then you have another Collected Company. Or you're not hitting, you know, just, you're just not doing the broken things that Collected Company can do. Like, I don't even think Humans plays Collected Company. And they have some of the best 3-drops that you could possibly hit. Like, Mantis Rider is a 3/3 unblockable haste. That's really good, 3/3 unblockable. We don't have anything that good. They have Reflector Mage. They have Skyclave Apparition. I spelled Reflector wrong. They have Skyclave Apparition. Like, we just don't hit anything as good. Now, you can hit Munitions Expert, but even Munitions Expert, it's like, compare Munitions Expert to Skyclave Apparition. right? And Skyclave app. Coco gives them both flash, right? And then this takes out anything, whereas Munitions Expert only takes out creatures and planeswalkers. It's just like you're diving into this color combo, or to this plan, this collected company plan, and you're putting yourself behind all of the other decks doing it. Whereas if you play like a real Goblins deck, when I say real Goblins deck, a standard Goblins deck, this isn't even standard. Let's just go to this. If you play like a standard Goblins deck, your goal is gum up the board with Mogg War Marshals, draw cards with Ringleader, maybe combo, tutor for what you need, and it's like how much better is Goblin Matron than what's the name of it? The elf. Like this is like almost a good comparison here. Elvis Visionary enters the battlefield, draw a card, 2 mana, 1/1. Goblin Matron, 3 mana, 1/1. Now tutors for a goblin, but on the board, they're the same. And like when you're hitting them off Collected Company, like you just spent 4 mana. What is it that you're tutoring with Matron that gets? Maybe there's something that you tutor with Matron after Collected Companies that just makes the deck so good, but we don't have it. Like, we don't have it yet. What about Imperial Recruiter? It's a good card. It tutors all of our goblins usually. But it's just more copies of Matron that you don't get to hit off Ringleader. No, I'm saying compare it to people playing Imperial Recruiter are not playing Collected Company. That's like, yeah. I understand now. It's just not. You're just entering the race from way far back. So, don't be a bad version of another deck. Lean into the fact that you're a Goblins deck. All you have is the original Collected Company, which is the Ringleader, and, masses of shitheads. But you don't have impactful, I'm cheating on mana cards, just as a rule in Goblins. They all have keyword bad on them. That's what creature type Goblin kind of means. So you don't really want to play a value card like Collected Company for below rate cards, right? These are all old copies of the deck that I'm looking at. And in fact, we should probably just be playing this exact 75 right now. Like, the more I think about it, like, the better this is. Like, 2 Tarfires, 2 Skirks. I guess you don't have Ignobles, but, like, Ignoble doesn't even block Ragavan. You have turn 1 combo ability. Thoughtseize actually doesn't do shit in the current meta. That's why I'm not playing it. There's no deck that you want to play Thoughtseize against right now. At least as us. It's like, you want to play Thoughtseize against a control deck? Like, why? You already beat the control deck. People stop playing Titan. But Blood Moon would be better against Titan anyway. The combo decks are like, their shit has flash. They play it onto the field. It's just, it's like, it just doesn't do enough. It's like super slow. Like, what were your thoughts using the Ragavan deck? No. Your thoughts using the Reanimator deck? Thoughts using Hammer Time? So, I replaced the Thoughtseizes in the board with Blood Moons because against Rhinos, like maybe Blood Moon can lock them off of cascading. Card is the double in the side. So we replaced our Chalice of the Voids this morning with Prime Punishment. Punishment is basically engineered explosives, except it also hits Urza's Saga while it's in play. Because it doesn't say non-land, it says artifact, creature, and enchantment. And engineered explosives says non-land. So engineered explosives can kill planeswalkers, but 2-mana planeswalkers are not our problem right now. House of Mana MTG. I 100% think they're on Ragavan. They have to tap out to play Ragavan in Modern. Although we're on the draw. This hand is a lot worse on the draw than the play, but I think I still have to keep it. It's actually really bad. This hand looks like it does stuff, but like, they turn 1 Ragavan, you turn 1 Vial, they turn 2, hit you with Ragavan, they have 3 mana available. So they have like Dragon's Rage Channeler, second thing, and then even another mana to bolt you so that your Munitions Expert just fails. I think we have to mulligan this. This hand is way, way worse. And is way, way worse. They mulled to 5. Against a mull to 5, I think this hand is a lot better. I'm going to keep this Throwback a Sling Gang and just hope that their mull to 5 is that bad. They could be on Tron. In which case, our deck is very poorly set up against Tron in general. But it looks like it's a Ragavan matchup, like I assumed. Nope. Nope, nope. Chromatic Star. Is this like an engineer thing going on? I don't have any idea what they're doing. So I'm going to play out the Unclaimed Territory. Because there's like this Saheeli Boom deck that's going around. I'd rather have the Cavern. Okay, so it's Jeskai. Grinding Station. Wow, people are just on Grinding Station today. So we're going to be able to hopefully redeem ourselves by just mulliganing to Leyline and trying to blow them the fuck out. I don't know why you would queue up a graveyard combo deck into the expected field, but here we are. It's why I brought Leylines, and it's one of the reasons I didn't really want to play Bidding, but that's why we ended up on this hybrid combo. I think we've lost this first game, though. If I'm being honest, unless they have the worst hand you could imagine, Expressive Iteration and already having Grinding Station really makes it so that they're very likely to find what they need. And we are going to have a turn 3 Pashalik Mons. Isn't that exciting? I guess I could Boggart Harbinger, but that's my only Harbinger. And it doesn't... I would just put a Ringleader or something on top, right? I don't have main deck artifact interaction. Our life total doesn't matter. We're just gonna scare them by making blue mana. Assert our dominance, pass the turn. We're likely dead here. Leyline comes in on turn 1 for free. Relic of Progenitus you have to hold mana up for. You have to find the quote-unquote right time. Against black-red decks, they are never ever removing Leyline of the Void. Against blue-red decks, they are likely never ever removing Leyline of the Void. We don't make enough mana, and we have to commit to the board enough that holding up mana for Relic is a lot, and the fact that it draws a card just isn't enough. Unfortunately, no Munitions Expert here. But we'll look for one. Although I probably shouldn't have ticked that up if I was looking for one, should I? We're just gonna, I guess. Yeah, I think ticking that up actually might be a game-losing mistake. Another game-losing mistake, maybe not casting this with uncounterable mana. So we'll make sure we do that. So does Matron get us anywhere? We already had Harbinger to like do the Ghetto Matron. We obviously have them dead next turn. So if their Moldify was that bad, we'll be fine. But I don't think it was. I think we're just a turn slow. We'll see though. There's Urza Saga, there's Underworld Breach. They have one bauble currently. So this isn't deterministic yet, right? Or do you only need one bauble? Or you need 2 Mox Ambers is what you need. Alright, so we're just dead, right? I believe. There's no way that we could not be dead. Because they have the 2 mana to cast whatever, and they have this, so we're just dead. We'll concede here. Move on. If we go 1-2, by the way, we're not sticking it out for top 8 non-contention. So we learned that killing Grinding Station doesn't do shit. Their combo comes with colored mana. They only have to play Grinding Station and Underworld Breach, so Blood Moon does nothing. Tarfire kills Emery. Not really that good. I guess you can kill Emery in the middle of like them breaching you. No, you can't, because Grinding Station just... Never mind. If you can keep Engineered Explosives in turn until they Underworld bidding, then you're okay. Chance of that is low. So Patriarch's bidding is super slow. This is by the way, yeah, Mulhard for Leyline. This is the type of match where you having your own combo is really, really good. And that's like what we're losing out by having one Harbinger and the biddings, but if a Leyline, you know, keeps us around long enough, then it keeps us around long enough. Oh, a lot of people, I forgot that this was like the plan. When you board in Leylines, people are like, just take out the vials because it's not a value game anymore. Like you're just trying to finish them off once you kind of sort of lock out half their deck. So having bad top decks is way worse than not having crazy velocity off of Aether Vial. You can kill Emery's, but it's mostly like a... I guess I do want to play Crime Punishment, don't I? So... But it was mostly to have something to beat them down with. That was why I was... Alright, we'll do this. Getting a phone call from my mother. 1 second. I think 2 in play is enough, right? No, they actually don't have to kill the ley lines to win. But I'm gonna put 1 back, keep this hand, and you just hope you draw to close out the game fast enough. War Chief should give you enough velocity if you find something like Matron or Ringleader. So we're gonna toss a ley line back. So, by the way, when you mulligan and you only have 1 ley line in your hand, you have to be very careful that you don't misorder the steps on Magic Online. I want to draw Goblins really badly, so I'm going to thin my deck ASAP. Although that puts... Oh, fuck. That puts another ley line back in the mix, so thinning doesn't do anything here. I should have just played Stomping Ground tapped. It's not a huge deal, but especially since we're not casting anything to turn 3. But wow, what a card. And here you can see that it makes 0 difference now. So Kiki Jiki is a magic card. It has text. On this board, it mostly says 2/2 haste or way too much mana. But Kiki is the worst draw. 4th ley line is the actual worst draw, but yeah, Kiki's up there. How do I combo now? We don't, but we weren't trying to combo this game. We locked them out with ley line and we're just gonna beat them to death with their own shoes. Like, you can hopefully kill them with anything at this point. Trying to combo is probably a sure way to kill them slower because even though you've leylined them, they still have Lightning Bolt, right? So, I guess now they mill me out. Is their plan? So this is card new. No, because I would rather draw a land than a leyline. So, okay. So here, my options are to play War Chief or Snoop. Snoop gives me a redraw, and I kind of need more cards. So, also War Chief doesn't reduce Snoop next turn. So, this allows me to keep the fetch uncracked. And I guess we want Mog War Marshal. I'm not really sure. It's like a card. It's not a matron. It's not a ringleader, but it's a card. They are likely lightning bolting this Snoop, I would think. Is Mog... War Chief Mog War Marshal is an okay clock. True. Takes us 2 turns to get it into play, though. It's not as fast as it looks. But I am likely going to draw this Mog War Marshal. Alright, so... I almost want them to name Bloodstained Mire with this Pithing Needle. But I'm going to call their bluff. They're definitely going to name Snoop. Because they can't afford to get comboed if this Snoop is surviving. Wow, so they do it. That's surprising. That's probably fine. Like, it sort of sucks for us. But honestly, like, the Snoop surviving... We're going to pay Echo. We're just going to hit them for 4 a turn. They got 3 turns. The land kind of hurts, but I assumed they would name Snoop. Because they can't, like... They can't assume you don't have another land. They can't... I don't know. It's really dangerous to do what they did, but they did it, and it worked out for them. We could, yeah, I agree with you. So we have to, we're gonna need to name, man, wow, wait, this game just got way out of hand for us. Because they're gonna start putting constructs into play. And this is part of the reason, like, This is part of the reason that the mid-range plan is like not the greatest sometimes. Because even when you shut down them with Leyline of the Voids, like they still just have this broken land that gets them insane value. Oh my god, they have 2 of them! Crime Punishment would have been great. Damn, wishing I cracked this fetch just so I could find Crime Punishment somewhere. Okay. So they can make 4/4s? I think I just have to hold on to Engineered Explosives. We have to wait for them to make all these constructs is the real issue. It's like a timing issue. Like I'm not gonna play it out for 0 right now. And I can't attack. And they're gonna get free 1-drops. Man. If this Engineered Explosives was a Crime Punishment, we would be so set. Like, so set. You take out 2 lands, a Mishra's... Well, you don't actually take out the Mishra's Bauble. You take out 2 lands, they can't make constructs in response to do anything relevant. Like, man, Punishment is just so much better than Engineered Explosives here. I should have fetched now that I'm thinking about it. Because if I want them to name Snoop because I can't combo, it's like, well, there's no reason for them to name Bloodstained Mire. But I kind of needed the War Marshal, but not really, because I would have had a War Chief in play instead. Like, what's the big deal? I'm not gonna block here. Maybe I block with the token because it's gonna die anyway, but next turn these are going to be even bigger, so I'm not going to block here. Oh, wait. Was this my last turn to block with this token? Oh, I think it was. But I think I'll just use the mana. Maybe. Okay, so you play this on 0. You play out Mog War Marshal. You have another token to pay for Engineer Explosives Crack with. So I think this comes out like good on mana. Because this is going to go up to 3 right now, so we just play it out. I sacked, yes. Because we're about to EE on 0. So they're going to disappear, those tokens. So you don't want to... you don't want to sack your Mog War Marshal and have that disappear. You understand what I mean? So they make a construct. We have to wait because they can do it again. This is the bad part. But oh, can they just get Pithing Needle for Engineered Explosives? Fuck. But they've already tapped it. So they can't they can't now make a construct. They should have left it untapped instead of tapping it for mana. Because then I couldn't do what I just did without them being able to get like a 4/4 into play, right? Very small mistake from them. Chromatic Star enters the exile zone. Does that mean that they don't draw a card? Yeah, they don't draw a card. It just makes mana. But they have Omnath, so like, who gives a shit? Engineer Explosives, X equals 4. Wow. That's like actually kind of impressive. That kind of sucks for us, too. I don't want to pay Echo, and I want to have a token that can attack them, because we don't have a lot of time. And we have bidding in our deck. Although, no, we don't have it this game. But it's a good habit, anyway. Yeah. We are almost definitely dead. Because we're going to deal them 2 damage. And that ain't enough. Harbinger, one of the worst draws in the deck. I mean, we should have another mana here, which means we would be attacking for 4. We kind of fucked up by like daring them to Pithing Needle the Bloodstained Mire. Now, could we have guessed that we would never draw another land? Probably, given our luck, but it looks like we're probably dead here. They're gonna do it at our end of turn. I mean, this is mana, and we need that. Nothing. The reason to attack with both is that they have Pirate Spellbomb, so you deal at least 1 damage this way, no matter what. They're probably gonna Pirate Spellbomb our mana, I would guess. I think we bungled this game. I think we thought about it and we decided not to crack in the face of the Pithing Needle. But it was a silly bet. I was like, winning doesn't get you anything. You know what I mean? So, should have definitely cracked it. Not even just in hindsight. Do they have... It's not just over, right? Like, they don't have Underworld Breach necessarily. But if they cast Breach, we're dead. Because they have Mox Amber. So Mox Amber, Grinding State. Oh, they can't tap Mox Amber for mana, though? Does that change anything? Because they can cast... Do they have enough in the graveyard to cast Mox Amber and, Emery from the graveyard? Yes. They still have 2 blue for Thassa. I think what's happening here is they're going to find Emery. They're going to play it for 1 blue mana. I mean, there's Thassa's Oracle, but they don't have a legendary creature. They need to get Emery in play. But Mox Amber will eventually find Emery. They cast it for 1 blue mana. There it is. And now every time they cast Mox Amber, it's mana. And we're just dead. Alright. Well, Engineered Explosives for 4 different colors is what knocked us out here. We know they had 2 blue lands. Oh yeah, they don't even need to put Emery in play, is what you're saying? That's true. Alright, well, we're dead. We're not gonna go on beyond 1-2. We lost the same deck twice. We had ley lines and it wasn't enough. So that's something to think about. We got wrecked by Underworld Breach combo. We went on a list not expecting to see combo. I think we're much better against that list if we have more Harbingers, although we just didn't have a Snoop that game either, so it's not like we would have won. Yeah, probably Conscript. That is what happened. It was a silly bet to make, so definitely misplays, but it's good to lose to misplays as opposed to just there was nothing I could do. I think the list is probably okay. I'm gonna keep playing it for a little bit like this. But that Underworld Breach combo deck I didn't expect to see today. So that's interesting. And it's especially interesting to see 2 people on it in a row, because that means that somebody put the word out that that was like the thing to be doing, right? And I'm curious who that is. Anyway, I'm gonna raid somebody. Thank you for joining me while we were here. But yeah, Misplay's kicking us out, which is better than we've done in the last couple. So I'm gonna find somebody playing something. Shardless Bug Modern MTG. EJ Flippin. So we're gonna raid EJ Flippin. Tell him I said what up. I would not play Endurance. I just wouldn't play Endurance, period. It is a mistake to go that heavy into green in your Goblins deck. You can't pitch it ever. It's just a 3/4 flash for 3. There are better cards than that for Graveyard Hate, if that's what you're looking to do. And the 3/4 body is actually not relevant in your Goblins deck. Because if you were looking to block, you could already block. If you were looking to attack, you could already attack. It's just not really the place to be. That's my opinion. Anyway, Squares, thank you for the follow. I missed that somehow. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining me. Tell EJ I said what's up, good luck. I'm gonna go on a date with my girlfriend. Instead of sitting here losing in this modern event. But next time, we played badly. It wasn't really the deck's fault. It was our fault. Should have cracked that Bloodstained Mire. Just had 3 mana. Game's way easier. You just have an extra 2/2. But whatever, next time. So I'll see you guys around. If you haven't followed, don't forget, join us on Discord. See you around.